Hello everyone. Our group topic is the relevance between music and brain. First, we will talk about the concept of perfect pitch. Perfect pitch is an incredibly rare ability for a person to identify a music note without the reference on other pitch. How rare is perfect pitch? Only one in about 10,000 people can have perfect pitch. If you want to test if you are the person with perfect pitch, the first method is to test if you can identify and name the note when you just hear it. Or the second method to sing a given note on an instrument without having a research for it. If you can only identify a music note, say F, on the reference on a given musical note, say C, it only means that you have relative pitch but not perfect pitch. The difference between two is that perfect pitch requires the identification of the note without any reference. So how can we get this incredible talent, perfect pitch? From a study, it's found out that we are all born with perfect pitch, but only a few can attain it. Most of us will lose the talents until we are 8 months old. Though most of us have already lost that ability, we can still train the perfect pitch by studying music. The learning of music is very easy, which includes listen to lots of music, learn an instrument, or study some courses related to perfect pitch. However, we may still fail to attain it after a long time of learning. Some may attain this ability just through a short time of learning. It's because that most of the perfect pitch are born with, and they just train when they are even a child. When we search perfect pitch on YouTube, we can find children with perfect pitch.
I'm Chao Yunyan Candace, and I would like to discuss about how different people interpret music. I have chosen 3 groups for investigation. The first group is the difference between female and male, and the second is the difference between musicians and non-musicians, and the last group is the people with amusia. The first one is female and male. It is noticed that the right hemisphere of our brain is activated by the melody when we are listening to the music, and it is found that female performs usually better in recognizing the music. The experiment has conducted repeatedly by providing music with or without lyrics and single tone or a song to eliminate any possible factors that affecting the results other than the response from our brain. The result shows that the cranial nerve of male usually connected from the front to the back of the brain, while that for the female is between the left brain and the right brain. And that's cause the males usually performs better when dealing with a single task, and the female shows a better ability in paying attention and having decorative memories, and as a result they have better performance in recognizing music. When it comes to the musicians and non-musicians part, it is not surprising that musicians can recognize different tones much faster than the non-musicians. And other experiments have been conducted, and the participants is assigned to find the faults from a given music notation while their brain activity is observed and recorded by the researchers. It is found that the non-musician participants rely merely on vision, while the musicians are converting the music notes they see into the melody they play in their brain. And this use both vision and hearing parts, and that is the reason why musicians can find the faults much faster than the non-musician. Let's move to the next part to talk about the amuser. People with amuser cannot recognize the pitch and tones, and so you can find that they usually cannot perform its song with correct tones and pitch. The amuser can be a congenital one or acquired, and these two are all related to the left frontal lobe, which are responsible for the recognition of the language and pitch. A person may have amuser if their left frontal lobe is defected, which affects the ability to recognizing the pitch or tones. However, it is found that people with amusia does not affect their ability to learn the language, nor the ability to hear or any other abilities. To give a short summary, it is found that female is usually more sensitive to the tones and melodies of the music, and the ability in recognizing different tones within a short period of time can be improved by training from the musician and non-musician experiments, and these are all related to our brain structure, such as the connections of the cranial nerve and the left frontal lobe. And that's for my part, and let's move to the next part.
Hi, I'm Bernie. This part is about whether music is good for our brain. The following slides will discuss health and intelligence aspects from the point of music listeners and music instrument players. For the health, as a music listener, music can help us music therapy, although it is argued it may only be a placebo effect, which is only offering comforting effect. A study carried out with 60 patients suffering from stroke have shown that music indeed help with recovery, with one-third assigned to listen to recorded music for at least 1 hour a day. Another third listened to audiobooks, and the final group did not receive auditory stimulation. After 3 months, verbal memory improved 60% in the music listeners, as compared with 18% in the audiobook group and 29% in the patients who did not receive auditory stimulation. As a music instrument player, music helps retaining listening skills and ward off age-related cognitive declines, especially for older adults, as our auditory system is very complicated. Different parts of our body are dedicated to specific function. For example, the cerebellum processes rhythm, and the frontal lobes interpret the emotional content of music. Playing music is found to be able to alter brain waves, strengthen a person's listening and hearing skills over a short time frame. For the intelligence, we often listen to music while we are working or studying. The Mozart effect is then proposed, suggesting that listening to music increases brain functions and IQ, while some people argued that music only improves the mood and productivity as a side effect. In fact, listening to music triggers dopamine release, which is also released when ingesting caffeine and sugar, keeping the mind activated. As a music instrument player, music improves several brain statuses. Since playing instruments require precise and accurate body movement, the brain is fully activated, especially the parts correspond to sound and hearing. As a result, music strengthens the motor skills, hearing, and memory, and the player will be more sensitive to sound. For example, learning a new language or able to understand the tone of speaker more easily. For a short summary, although some effects are not proven or strongly supported by scientific evidence, music have definite benefits for both listeners and players. Thank you.
And now it's music therapy. The topic I was going to do had little to no research available, so I had to change the topic. So, what is music therapy? By definition, it's a use of music to address the physical, emotional, cognitive, and social needs of a group of people. It has been used since back in ancient Greece, when it was used as an attempt to cure mental disorders. We also use it now in military to boost their morale when needed. These are available and appropriate for everyone. You don't have to know anything or learn anything about music to go through this treatment. As mentioned in the slide, there is passive music therapy where patients can just listen to the music. Also, the therapy can be conducted on one-on-one or it can be conducted in groups. These are some examples. The first one's pretty amazing, where 4-year boy who has autism finds his voice back through music, and the bottom link is just to prove that it is still used today to children who are going through coronavirus. There are lots of benefits of music to your brain and to your body, but here are some. First of all, chemicals like dopamine and endorphins are produced, which will make people feel good and happy, which should be good for your body, or I presume it will. Moreover, it helps with mental illness and psychological disorders, and reduces anxiety and stress. Of course, I'm not going to say these benefits without any evidence, so here are some. These are scientific studies conducted to prove the effects. For example, in University of Alberta, researchers got 42 children and split into two groups, those who listened to music and those who didn't. When they tried to inject or put IVs, children listening to music have experienced a lot less stress, and workers felt the same in the sense where they thought it was easier to administer to kids listening to music than those who did not. Moreover, in 2006, researchers led by Hayashi studied about rhythmic auditory stimulation to improve movements or gait-related movements to 25 patients who had mental illness like depression and Parkinson's disease. Patients listened to songs which had RAS embedded into it for 3 to 4 weeks, and in the end, most of the patients' step length got longer and their speed of waking up has also increased. More studies. So another study has been conducted in 2009 by Lauren K. King, and his researchers, where 40 patients with Parkinson's disease were exposed to 1 minute of 30 Hz vibration followed by 1 minute break. These steps were altered for 10-minute duration for a week. By the end, they spotted patients' step length getting also increased, and they made patients go through a group pegboard test. Their speed has also increased. So they have effectively shown vibration does help the brain. With that being said, these are a few specific types of music therapy known right now. Note that some of them are not fully scientifically supported, but it is still used. And there are more methods than listed in here, but I want to discuss more about binaural beats and sounds. These beats are used to reduce stress, anxiety, and to help you to relax or sleep. ASMR, or Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, would also fall into this category. These are designed to create frequency, or an attempt to create this frequency with the brain waves when you are relaxing. Here are different types of binaural frequency. Delta waves are used for deep sleep, and theta for deep relaxation, etc. Basically, different frequencies are used for different purposes. Alpha, beta, and gamma frequencies are used for concentration and focus. So yeah, these are things our group has got to present. If there's any question, please ask us through Moodle forum. And yeah, thank you for listening.